Good evening, everyone. Last week, the United States Supreme Court overturned death row inmate Curtis Flowers' murder conviction. The High Court ruled the prosecutor had unfairly excluded African Americans from the jury. They used an earlier ruling to guide that decision. Our Jory Talley joins us live with more on this story. Jory?
It's called the Batson Rule, and it's been around since the late 1980s. It comes into play when there's a pattern of racial bias believed to be involved in jury selection. The Flowers case went to trial for the 6th time, and it's likely not the last. What is now known as the Batson Rule comes from the Supreme Court case Batson versus Kentucky in 1986. It means lawyers can't get rid of potential jurors based solely on their race and must give a valid reason for excluding someone.
During our history, we've had some times where probably some people use race as a means to try to prevent diversity in juries. And so the Supreme Court has basically stepped in and said that race is not an appropriate consideration when determining who should be on a jury.
Montgomery County District Attorney Doug Evans' methods for choosing and striking jurors were at the center of an appeal filed by lawyers for convicted murderer Curtis Flowers. The U.S. Supreme Court determined that the Batson Rule applied in Flowers' 6th trial. A majority ruled that the jury did not reflect the makeup of the community.
As you know, there's been a lot of talk in the media recently about how if you're caught and found to have struck jurors because of their race, then the conviction gets reversed and you have to start all over. And so that's the punishment that happens.
You want the jury to represent the community, number one. And number two, you want there to be a fair trial. People from different backgrounds have different views and different standing in the community and differing opinions on what should and should not be right, and sometimes that's important to your case.
Defense attorney Jeff Hosford says race shouldn't play a role when it comes to selecting jurors.
Now, does that mean that it should be an all-white jury, an all-black jury? No, obviously, and you should take that into account anytime of anything. You have to have the input of all the people of the community, and everything that occurs in that community should involve all the people.
Hosford says what a good lawyer wants is 12 individuals who will listen to the facts and make a fair decision based on those facts.
You look for certain things, and certain life things affect people differently. Obviously, if somebody works in law enforcement, they're going to have more of a view that's pro-law enforcement than somebody that does not. And it's somebody that's had a family member arrested may have a lesser view of facts as presented by police officers. And obviously, each side in a defense situation is looking at those and trying to make that decision based on what they believe is the best for that case.
Doug Evans is still the district attorney in the 5th Judicial District. He has not publicly indicated whether he will call for a new trial. Reporting here in Lowndes County, Jory Talley, WCBI News.